Hey groupers, Pastor Marshall, excited to have the opportunity to sit with you in your group for just a few minutes. To get things started, to break the ice, I wonder how many of you are or have been vegetarians in your life, or are or have been vegans. Share with your group what that experience is or what it was like. My kids, my oldest daughter Sydney, she's a pescatarian. I don't even know how to spell that. What it means is that she will only eat animals that come from the sea, although I haven't seen her eating dolphin or whale. My younger daughter, London, has just recently decided that she is vegan, so she won't eat any animal or animal byproduct. I can't tell you what the results of those decisions are in their lives. I'm not really sure that I see much other than the trouble that it is for my wife to prepare all these different kinds of meals. But I wonder about you. What has your experience been if you ever have been or are vegetarian or vegan? Just get talking about that. Break the ice. Or if you're thinking about doing that, share with your group about that and why. Well, we're in Daniel chapter 1. This is the first story of this book full of amazing stories. And in the first part of the story, Daniel is basically being brainwashed. He and the Israelites are being brainwashed. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, is attempting to assimilate the Israelites into Babylon by taking their princes through his educational, cultural system. I'm curious what you think of this. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree with it? Are there any examples of this kind of thing that happens in our world today? For example, citizenship. If you go on the citizenship website, it says that you have to be able to read, write, and speak English. It says that you have to have a basic understanding of U.S. history and how our government works. It also says that you have to be able to explain the principles or the ideals of the Constitution. I'm not even sure that all of us could do those things. What do you think of that? That if someone's going to become a part of our culture, that they have to assimilate in some ways. That's what Nebuchadnezzar is doing when he brings these young men of great status into his court. Well, second, the big discussion in this passage from a theological perspective, from a Bible study perspective, is about why wouldn't they eat the food? Is it just simply a kosher issue that they're Jews and this food is not safe for them to eat? I don't know about that, because it does say that they also refused wine, and the Jews were allowed to drink wine. So other people say that it's not a kosher issue, it's because the food's been defiled. Food at the Babylonian king's table has big religious overtones. Their pagan priest will have blessed this food, and it would have been a part of pagan worship, and then it finds itself on the king's table after going through this regime, and maybe that's why Daniel won't have anything to do with it. Others say that this isn't anything to do with kosher, it doesn't have anything to do with religious things, that the whole reason that they avoid this food is because they are building into the story right away a miracle. There's no way that they are going to look better and be better than the king's, other people in the king's court if they just eat vegetables. And so they are right at the beginning making it so that God has to do something, that it will be a demonstration that their God is greater than the God of the Babylonians who's blessed all of this food. I think that's a very interesting idea. I'm wondering what you think. How do you read this story? What do you read is going on in this story? And then finally, I'd like you to take a minute and tell some Daniel stories. This is an amazing book full of amazing stories. And I'm wondering what you know. What great stories do you know about Daniel? What great stories do you know about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that are not covered? We're not covering the whole book of Daniel. This is just the first chapter, but there's certainly a chance for us to tell some other things that we really like. And then every week, I challenge you to share what you like. I challenge you to share what you don't like. This is one of those fun weeks where there's so much to pick from. We have sort of a hard time isolating it down to one thing that we really like. There's lots to like in this story. My favorite thing for me is this one little line. It says, talking about Daniel asking the person that was in charge of him, it says he asked for permission. He didn't say, I refuse to eat that, I'll have nothing. He said he asked for permission not to eat from the king's table. He doesn't preach him a sermon. He doesn't show him scripture. He doesn't promise that he's going to lead a strike. He asked and he trusted that God was going to be ahead of him, that God was already going to be at work in making the things in his life a place of blessing and not a place of conflict. I really like that. He asked for permission. And then, what do you not like? I want you every week to share what you don't like. I don't like that they changed their names. Carefully removing their culture and their relationship to being Israelites, so they changed their names. I don't like that. I'm proud of my name. I'm proud that I'm named after my great uncle who was a Texas Ranger, that my dad used to see him ride into town on his horseback. I like that. So I don't like that they changed their names. Well, every week I want you to remember commitments that we made on Sunday. This last Sunday, we handed out commitment cards for our capital campaign. I've been asking you to go home and to spend time praying to God by yourself, if you have a family that's just you, or with your spouse and your children, about what would you give for the next 2 years to our capital campaign. We are getting so close to having this new building, but what we don't want is to have an inordinate amount of debt. We've been talking about how debt isn't God's ideal plan for us, that if we're going to have debt, it's only for a short time. So we're trying to pay as much of this down as we can. I hope that you'll have that card, you'll bring it with you this next weekend when we will submit our commitments to the Lord. Well, I hope you have a great study of Daniel chapter 1, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend. God bless. Bye-bye.